Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gaming Coop. I'm Aaron.
And this is Jess.
And today we're going to be taking a look at Battlefront 2, the highly anticipated and much dismayed over at this point game that EA has put out in the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, we're more importantly going to do the campaign, talk about the campaign a little bit.
Correct. And a potential bombshell that Disney may have slipped into this game, tying the movies in? What? Bum, bum, bum! Shell. Okay, guys, so we're going to jump right into it on this one. Here's the scoop. Jesse and I collectively did not buy this game for the multiplayer value. So I realized there's a lot of disgruntled gamers out there. Yeah, controversy with this whole, you guys have seen it, the microtransaction thing, and people are mad. And I get it's a justified position. It really is. I mean, when you figure in, did you see some of the numbers that some of these guys have actually sat down and done the math on this game and what it would take to work your way through and, just to unlock everything, all the items and stuff? I know, yeah. You can't see me, but I'm pointing at the ceiling right now because there was a helicopter that just flew over the studio.
I'm pretty sure it had Mickey Mouse on the side of it.
It's very, well, was it a black helicopter? Did you so, here's the thing with that. I don't really, it's not really that I'm not really that disgruntled about it because I just don't feel like it's really going to affect me, Like from the single player standpoint, that's what we're going to be talking about today is the campaign, because that's what we were in it for.
Yeah, that's the main reason I picked up the copy, was to run through the campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was very well done.
Yeah, the campaign was great.
Short side, but that's how that goes.
Which is what we knew before we bought it. So I think the issues that a lot of people are unhappy about, again, are justified positions. I'm not saying that. It just doesn't really have much impact on us because we just don't get into the online multiplayer that much, Now, I've been playing the arcade modes. I've been working through the different tiers on that. And, again, I'm not in it for the grind, though. I don't care if I unlock everything. That's not why I play. I play because of Star Wars, let's be honest. If this wasn't a Star Wars title, regardless of what this title was, I would really have zero interest in it. I do like the expansive content they put in this one. We're supposed to see a DLC drop this month. What's today? Today's the 8th. So we'll be putting this video out in the next couple of days, right before episode 8 drops on the 14th.
Yeah, December 8th.
Yeah, thank you.
2017.
Okay. Moving on. So, December 14th, of course, highly anticipated episode 8. We're both psyched about that. Already got our tickets, had them for a while. But the one thing, moving on from with the fun we did have from the campaign and all that stuff, and we're going to get into a little bit, maybe somebody's already answered this question. I hadn't really found anything at the time we were doing this video, but maybe it'll come out pre-episode 8 release date coming up in 6 days. About a major bombshell that Disney slipped into this storyline at the end, and I think it's worthy of talking about. I think it's a legitimate theory.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that again because we were heavily focused on the campaign. So, before we get into that though, I think again, this game has just been ripped to shreds by the community. By the gaming community, and I think that it definitely still has some value. I know they're really upset about all the microtransaction stuff and the grind that it takes to get through. Like that one guy that did the math and stuff. Like, getting back to that, something like 4,000 something hours, because he broke it down, like estimated some 4,000 some hours to unlock and max out every star card and everything, get everything in the game. That's insanity.
Which my kid could blow through that in a weekend.
He's pretty good. Yeah,
I'm just saying kids these days.
Yeah,
that's all I'm
he's
saying.
pretty good. I mean, seriously, in our heyday, as quote unquote gamers, whatever, we couldn't invest that amount of time. Even kids that have zero responsibility can't invest that amount of time. I mean, it's not realistic.
That is not even start a vacation.
Okay, so what's the problem here? What's the problem with that? How do you circumvent that? Microtransactions.
Too many for count.
This is what the big argument is about. This is why everybody's mad at EA. EA took Star Wars and EA'd it again. Because they kind of push you in the general direction of spending more money.
Make sure you come
Right.
Or you don't have to have everything. You can
No,
just
no, you don't.
leisurely play.
You can, and that's what we're doing. See, the scheme, scam, whatever you want to call it, style, direction they're moving with this thing just has basically zero impact on me and you. I mean, they're just not going to get us for more money.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing in here that's going to make me spend more money on this game. I'm going to be honest with you. I can just not have everything. It's okay. Again, because unless you're moving into the multiplayer, where you really need the advantage, if you really want to win matches and stuff and get serious with it, it just doesn't matter. You know, I don't agree with the way they're kind of pushing people to spend more money. Because, you know, the other side of that was estimated cost, like $2,100 is what you're talking about. If you don't want to move the time route, which is ridiculous, you realize that if you took this as a job, that's 2 years. Standard work here is like 2,080 hours. That's 40 hours a week. So you would have literally 2 years of a full-time job playing through this game to unlock everything. Can you imagine trying to do that?
Yeah.
Well, you can imagine it, but I mean, would you want to do that? Is it worth that kind of play?
It's called World of Warcraft.
And this isn't even an MMO.
No.
I mean, that's the thing. It's not. This is a shooter. This is a first-person shooter, you know, or third. You know, pick one. But yeah, this is a shooter. So anyway, whatever. I mean, I know they've just beat that drum to death. I get it. I know EA's fixing stuff, and hopefully they'll improve it and make it better. They've already talked about how the DLC is supposed to be free, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing free DLC, but I guess now you kind of see that why are they doing free DLC? Because we're charging for everything else. You know what I mean? And I get it. You know, I'm sure Disney's putting pressure on them. They got to make money with this. EA's huge, but EA has been hemorrhaging losses after this. I think the last number I saw was like they're down like $6 billion in their worth and their net worth or whatever, the drop over this whole thing. Which, I mean, I'm sure they'll get back. It's, you know, I don't have stock in EA, so, you know, whatever.
I can't.
Are you a shareholder?
No, not directly. Well, I'm up for a role in the next Marvel movie, so with being tied to Disney, kind of want to keep my hands clean of this. So, yeah, remember when I took last Thursday off? Anyway, it's
Are
not.
you? Are you being serious right now? Are you serious, Clark? What are you, like an extra, or like a lead role? Who are you playing? Would you?
Is it not obvious?
What'd you do the casting call for? Cap. You're gonna be Cap. I can see it. They're looking for a replacement for old boy, aren't they?
I mean, well, he did grow the beard out. For
He
this.
did. I've seen it. Seen the trailer.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Obvious.
Fair enough. Well then, hey, look. You know, it's one of those deals. You can take sides. You know, we talked about it before the game even released, though.
Yeah.
It's pay to win. I get it. It's a mobile thing.
It's actually putting some of the mobile games to shame.
Honestly, oh, it is actually pretty bad. Honestly, like a pay to win game would favor you and I, because we don't have the time to invest in it.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's the honest truth. If
that's
we really
one-sided.
wanted everything,
Yeah, that's
I'm not going to drop $2,100 if that's really accurate. You know, and I'm saying, you know, we didn't come up with those numbers.
That's
It's
one
just,
man's figures.
Yeah, I mean, however they reach that conclusion, maybe it's accurate. There's probably some type of randomness built into those numbers, like, because you're not guaranteed certain. I mean, you heard of Belgium.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Belgium actually, all in out called it gambling,
Yeah.
which I disagree with.
It's
It's not gambling. Gambling infers you might not get something.
right.
You can gamble all your money away, and that machine never pays. When you spend money on Battlefront 2, or any game for that matter, you will get something in return. It may not be what you wanted, but you will get something. I mean, I just, you know, call it. It's not. It's what was the other term they were throwing out there for? Not unethical. That's not the word I'm looking for. Predatory. That's what they called it.
Oh yeah.
It's like a predatory practice, you know, to get people to spend more money. But look, hey, you have to realize, of all every company that develops video games is in business to make money, guys. You have to. That's the point. Look, some of them make incredible games and all stuff, but they're in business to make money, you know, and they're going to make that money back. It costs a lot of money to develop these games. I mean, I'd like to see the figures on how much they spent making this game.
Yeah.
It's probably insanity.
Yeah.
What, a few $100 million probably? I mean, it's probably like a blockbuster movie budget is what they've got in this game. They've got several developers. It's not just, I mean, EA's publishing, but DICE wasn't the only one involved. They got several developers on different features of the game and stuff like that. So, I mean, you know, you got to take all that into consideration. So, you know, before you rag on EA too hard, I think that should be some consideration on your stance. You know what I mean? So, anyway, moving away from all that, you know, we did have fun with the campaign. I wish it was longer, as always.
Yeah.
But at least we got a campaign in this one.
Yeah, it was really good. Just a lot of things done right in the campaign.
Did you? Oh, and I don't know. Should we put spoiler alert on this? If somebody hasn't played the campaign, I mean, we're not. This video is coming out late enough now. If you haven't played through the campaign, I mean, I just can't imagine you spending a couple hours to go through it.
We might as well, because it's potential.
Okay, we put spoiler
Last
alert.
Jedi spoiler. Even.
It could be from this point on. Take it as you will, because it could be a spoiler alert. So,
or it could be ramblings of madness.
That is true. We could be wrong. I'm not saying we're right. I'm saying think about it. That's what, I'm just saying think about this theory we're going to talk about. But before we get to that, so did you enjoy the campaign? I mean, let me put it. Not. Did you enjoy the plot twist in the campaign, the way your character started versus the way your character ended?
I didn't at the time, but I understand. I grown it. I accepted it. I
did too. That's the way I felt. It was nice writing. I think some would call it lazy. Finally we get it. I was excited about playing as the Empire.
Yes, I was.
We could blast those rebel scum back where they came from. I was excited about that. And yes, it probably does make a more intriguing story to do it the way they did it.
Yeah, it spread it out better than the way
it did.
You got to sample a little bit of everything that way.
Exactly. And
Both sides.
Right, and maybe that's why they decided to do it that way, because honestly, in the timeline for the campaign mode, you're going to have no heroes to play as.
Yeah.
Except for, well, you've got Han, you've got Leia, you got Luke, but you're not going to have.
Well, you definitely don't have any on the Empire side.
No, you don't have anybody on the Empire side because they're already gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could have had them very briefly in the opening of the campaign. They could have threw one in there real quick before they were wiped out. I guess maybe we should talk about that. For any of you that don't know the storyline of the campaign basically starts at the second destruction of the Death Star, and that's pretty much what it's. So, episode 6 is where you're falling in. Okay. Which is a nice. I love that aspect of it. I thought, especially playing as the Empire.
Yeah.
You watch the destruction of Vader, the Emperor, the Death Star. What do we do now? You know, holy crap! They got blown up again. So, I really did. I enjoyed getting dropped in that kind of niche in the timeline. I thought that was good. And then, of course, you work your way forward. You know, just because the Death Star is gone, the Empire wasn't destroyed. You know, there was still a lot of it looming out there. So it's a nice place to drop in and start picking up stuff, you know. And of course, you're Iden Versio, who is the Inferno Squad elite troopers, which is not, you know, like, not that it's the same thing. You know, I tell you about Republic Commando, the old one. I watched another video about that the other day, how it deserves its own It was deserving of a sequel. This is a lot like that.
Yeah, they were.
You
They're a
know.
little squad that. You know.
Yeah, love that game. It was a lot of fun. Now I know you go back now and the banter between AI, the characters is, okay, it's kind of cliche, whatever. But it was a lot of fun to play that game. It had a really unique aspect about it, and of course you were clones in the episode 2, episode 3 range. Well, actually it would have been before 3, but episode 2 when the Clone Wars was going on and stuff. So anyway, but this game had a lot of that feel to it, which I thought was fun. Well, it did when it started. Then of course your character flips, does a 180.
Which it was deep. You had the lines drawn in the sand, and the squad collapsed. And not everybody went the same route.
Which
so.
I thought was interesting story writing.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Respect it for what it was. I really wanted to squash the rebellion. I did.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a fun way to do it.
That would be a fun game.
Because I'm like a lot of people, I default to the light side. Because you want to be the good guy.
Oh, yeah.
But like this time, I really wanted to be the bad guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I thought maybe we'd see the story hashed out of the Empire turning into the First Order.
Exactly.
But you don't.
But you don't. You could, if they'd have made it longer.
And kept.
But you don't.
Yeah.
So.
Little disappointed in that.
Now, I don't know where they'd pick it up in the canon, how you would fill in that gap. And that's where we get into our theory. Because you actually skip decades at the end of this game.
Yes, decades later.
Decades later, who shows up?
You got one last mission.
With
Kylo Ren.
Kylo. Which, of course, now puts you in the episode 7 timeline. Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't go back and play that level. Because you can go back in and select your mission, which was what we did for our gameplay. We're just playing Battle of Jakku, which is fine. I really enjoyed that level, actually.
Oh, man, remember this part?
What did I tell you about that? So you dropped in battle. Okay, again, we're past the spoiler thing, so we're gonna keep going with that. You dropped in Battle of Jakku, which I thought was really fun and unique. Transition from sky to ground, which is what I always wanted.
The whole game should have been.
Agreed. I really enjoyed it. It should be drop in and out of. If you did want to do the galactic conquest feature like is in Battlefront in the past, and this game has potential to play like a galactic conquest, almost RPG style or real-time strategy. But you still have your awesome, run and gun feature. But you could do a galactic conquest mode, which would be just fantastic with this game in particular. But you could play it from either side.
Heck, you can make it open world.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You could do. There's so many things. EA, please.
We want an open world Star Wars.
So many things you could do with this game. Especially because they have opened up the vehicle selection, the locations are huge, tons more heroes than the first one. This game could have been everything the first one was supposed to be.
Which the campaign was.
At least we got a campaign. I wish it was 4 or 5 times as long, at least. But I would say that probably no matter how long it was. And I don't have time to play a 50-hour campaign.
No, but
I would probably try.
We did get a sweet little ending.
We did.
They didn't lay down on that.
They did not lay down on that. So, moving into that, this is what I'm really excited about.
I think we've teased them enough. We should just get to it.
Okay, so at the end of Battle of Jakku, the Empire is lost, of course. And out of the ashes rises the First Order, but you don't see that because the game ends. But, so, Del and Iden become an item, and they kiss at the end, right? So we got a little love affair here, and that's where it starts.
Then we go
decades.
Decades.
So we're
later.
thinking at least 30 years.
Yes.
Because Kylo is Kylo.
Yeah,
and
he's already.
We're in episode 7 timeline now. So, okay, it's somewhere in there. And you have, you actually play as Kylo. And you're running around, and I don't even know, honestly, I couldn't figure out what was going on at first. But you
I think that's his mind, Dell, that he does.
Yeah, it is. He's in Dell's mind. You track down Dell.
But you play
as Kylo, but you're like doing the mind thing. It's not mind trick.
The level is in.
The level's in Dell's mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're searching through his memories to find. Of course, he's on the loop. He wants Skywalker.
Plus,
it's still that. He's still after Skywalker.
But you get all these echoes.
Exactly.
Of little information.
You still got dialogue between them, and then of course your old friend from this game, Hask. It's Hask, isn't it? Yeah, Hask shows up.
Oh yeah.
And he's alive, which you think you killed him on the Battle of Jakku, and he shows up at the end with Kylo. He's still alive. So you have, and of course the dialogue takes place between him and Dell, and they keep talking about how he left the Empire, and he's basically, I don't know, he kind of references a smuggler.
Yeah.
In a way, like he's using the ship, what's the name of the ship? Their ship. It escapes me now. I forget what the name of the ship was. But they're basically using their ship for just hauling stuff. Whatever this whole move, the transition is they've made over time. So, but what does he keep talking about? That he gave up everything to haul freight and what? Fatherhood. Right?
Yeah.
So he's talking about that, and you're like, okay, but it comes up again when Kylo's running through his mind, and he talked about, because they talk about how they had a daughter.
Yeah.
It is specific. It's not just a child.
It's a
they
daughter.
say daughter. Okay. So of course, I wasn't picking up on the dialogue at the time. Really, I was trying to watch it, but the level's chaotic because it's all weird looking,
Yeah.
and you're running through and you're killing guys, even though it's in his mind. You're mowing these guys down and stuff like that. But it's just Kylo moving through his memories, and you're chasing Dell. He just keeps moving further ahead of you, blah, blah. So then I started thinking about that, and I'm like, why do they keep talking about that? Fatherhood, and he had a daughter and all that. And I'm like, oh, are you freaking kidding me? Is this the bombshell the whole thing that spurred from episode 7?
What year was that? I mean, how many years has that been out that people have been trying to figure?
15. It came out in December of 15.
Yeah, and people have been trying to figure this out.
So I'm not saying we have it, but
they might have just dropped it in.
Let's just. I want you guys to just chew on this, because I think there could be something there. Maybe it's nothing.
Maybe they're just playing with the emotions of the fanboys.
Maybe, exactly. Maybe they're just jacking around. But this game came out 1 month to the day before episode 8. So they only had 1 month they were going to put this out there for you before you could find out. Probably. We don't know we're going to find out in episode 8 about whose Rey's parents are.
Right, yeah.
Okay, but we think we will. We think
we
that
hope
question.
We will,
well, exactly.
finally.
We think that question will be resolved in episode 8. Okay. What if? And here's the question: what if Dell and Iden are Rey's parents? Mind blown. And you're like, at first, you're like, well, yeah, but that didn't explain the Force sensitivity and all the stuff she can do. Well, but maybe it does. Because we know that Dell had a unique interaction with Luke in this story campaign. You play as Luke for a little bit, and they have a little run-in. And they get to chatting a little bit, so maybe there's a little more to that they didn't quite let on about. You know? We know Iden is an elite trooper. She's got skills. I mean, you can't argue that. I mean, she didn't become the commander of this Inferno squad because she wasn't really good at her job. Of course, it helps who her dad was.
She was average.
Right. So, I'm just saying, it's worthy of consideration, and we haven't had a chance to look at this. We just talked about it earlier. Okay, where was Rey? When you first see her, where do you meet Rey?
Oh, yes.
Jakku. Exactly. Wouldn't it be fitting if they had to hide her for some reason? Because Kylo's on the hunt. He knows. He's looking for Iden. I think is when he finds Dell, that's not exactly who he was looking for. He's still trying to hunt down Iden, which you don't see again and doesn't make an appearance. But she's in hiding or wherever she's at. You don't know. I don't think it ever actually says. So,
No, but old boy's going after her.
exactly. So it's got to be serious, you know. Now, then you think, well, did they notice that Rey was different? And is that does that tie with theory that she was training under Luke at the Jedi Temple when Kylo destroyed it, and then they hid her away? Okay, I don't know, but it's interesting that she's on Jakku, which appears to be where their love started, whatever you want to call that. They shared a little kiss at the end of Jakku because everybody's happy, the Empire's destroyed. It is kind of fitting that that's where they would hide it. You know, at the beginning of this relationship, they're now married. I think they're married, whatever. And, you know, they got at least one kid, at least a girl, we know that. And they end up dumping her on Jakku to hide her away. Of course, you know, the junkyard, the big joke about that, it's the junkyard. You know, because they know that they won't find her there. You know. So, I think it's extremely noteworthy to really consider, because we don't know who Rey's parents are yet.
You know how I just thought of this too. The parallels that they do with the old ones. Where did they hide Luke?
Tatooine, which that's the whole thing. Jakku looks like Tatooine.
Well, and it was in the first episode of that trilogy.
That's right. That's right. I mean, the parallel, and that's why I think everybody wants to say she's Luke's daughter, because she parallels Luke so well. But wouldn't that be kind of lazy?
Well, it's like, I'm just saying, Anakin and Padme met on Tatooine. Didn't it?
That's true. Yeah, because they were he was with.
Well, they didn't
Obi.
meet.
Yeah,
well,
no, that's where they found him. He was with
it was.
Watto.
Yeah,
and he was the slave or whatever.
Yep. Yeah,
and then the whole pod race thing, episode 1. Yeah,
I was remembering.
So
that.
yeah, you're right. So.
And then that's where they hide Luke. And then
that's where they hide Luke, because his aunt and uncle lived there. You know, ended up being, you know, we see how that ends in episode 4. Not well for Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen. But I think she doesn't have any other family. I mean, we don't know that old boy that had her, whatever his name, I can't think of his name, he's played by Simon Pegg, though, which I thought was interesting. And you wouldn't notice that ever on the run-through. But, they give him over to him for some reason. There must be more to that story.
Yeah, he could be secretly.
And we're gonna do it. We're not gonna do it in this video, but I encourage you guys to do it. I'm gonna go back and still frame episode 7 when that ship is leaving her and she's having the flashback about that ship flying off and she's watching it go. I would almost bet you the ship, again, cannot think of the name of it, that is dropping her off matches their ship in this game. It has a name. Why can I not think of the name of that ship? They say it 100 times.
I know, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
You keep looking at me for help.
I know.
Sorry, man.
I can't think of the name of the ship. Anyway, the ship that they use that's Inferno Squad's base, basically, is their ship in this. And I would almost bet if you did a still shot comparison from episode 7 footage and put it side by side with it, if you could get a good shot from the game of that ship kind of from the back, which you could do actually in the multiplayer, it'd be real easy with the way we do it with capture. You could just fly around in your X-wing and get a really good view of it. And then put those side. I would just almost bet they're the same ship. They look the same. And that's how you would know who was dropping her off. You know, because they don't let her say any dialogue. She just says her family left her. She's waiting on them to come back. But she does talk about how her family left her. Like, they didn't send her with someone else that got rid of her for the family. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't hire someone. You know, we didn't pull Guardians of the Galaxy and hire somebody to go pick up Chris Pratt or drop him off and deliver him. Okay, it wasn't that. Like, she's specific in the very little bit she says about it that her family dropped her off and she's waiting on them to come back. Right? I mean, I think that's accurate.
That's.
I mean, so now, I mean, why? Well, of course, again, this is the writing. This is the dialogue. They write the screenwriting for the movie. they don't want to reveal the parents yet. So they don't write anything for her to say that reveals who her parents are. I mean, that's how you step around that. You know, and that's just one of those things. It just keeps you intrigued again. The mystery behind Rey. Where did she come from and all that. Which has been probably the biggest hype since Episode 7 came out.
That and Snoke.
That and Snoke. Yeah, Snoke's a big one too. Which we're not going to get. There's a lot of great fan theories on Snoke.
That's better.
But Snoke does not have any appearance in this game. I mean, they don't even allude to Snoke in dialogue. I don't think.
It's not time for him until...
Well, you got till the end, that little deal, discoveries.
Fast forward 30 years.
Which they called discoveries.
They did call it discoveries.
What's the discovery? That's the discovery. I think that's the discovery. I could be wrong, but you guys need to check it out for yourselves, because I think it's extremely interesting. That they could do that. Disney could go, hey, I want to put this little... I want you to slide this in there kind of right there at the end and just leave them hanging on this little note and see if anybody picks up on it. Have you seen anybody talking about this, really?
I have seen one. I didn't read the article, but it was in the headline, and I thought, yeah. But
that was after I even told you my theory.
Yeah.
So I'm not crazy, or at least I'm not alone.
He's not crazy. He's not.
Anyway, so I think it's possible that Disney pulled a little fast one, dropped it. I say slid that in there quietly. It was kind of quiet, but you know what's also quiet? A bomb before it goes off. You know what I'm saying? Calm like a bomb, as Rage puts it. Calm like a bomb. And then boom, mind blown. You know what I'm saying? I think it's possible.
We'll just, we'll have to wait.
I know. 6 days. 6 days, people. At the time of this recording, almost 6 days to the hour. It's the evening of the 8th. And we got our 7 p.m. Psyched about that. So anyway, guys, you got anything else on this one? I don't know if we could...
Nope. I think that was it.
Anyway, we actually ran this video a little bit longer than we wanted to. Anyway, guys, we hope you enjoyed it. You got to watch my terrible gameplay and dying a bunch, stumbling through this, so we can do the commentary for you. But do check into that. I encourage that. We'd like to see your comments. Let us know what you think. Check this video out and say, hey, you guys are dumb, or that's stupid, doesn't even match up, or no, they're talking about so-and-so, somebody else from the written canon of the book series or somewhere this plays.
Yeah, that may have been an obvious bomb drop
for the book, and we totally missed it.
Yeah, we swing and a miss.
I'm just saying, it could be. I just think it's interesting. It's interesting.
It's definitely somebody though. It has to be somebody.
You mean like a known?
Yeah,
character.
it's got to be somebody that's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
A known character.
I don't think they put
established character.
Again, okay, we're gonna keep going. Again, they emphasized a couple of times in the dialogue with Del, the fatherhood, the having the daughter, and then he said, "You'll never find her," or something like that. But I think he was referring to Iden.
That's how I took it.
That is how I took that. But Iden could have had the kid,
which he kind of warned against finding her.
He did.
He was giving him a warning. You don't want to find her.
Yeah, to Kylo, wasn't it, or was it Hask?
It's Hask. Kylo
was already gone. Yeah, Kylo was already gone, and that was the Hask. So, yeah, and then of course Del meets his unfortunate end, which is why you don't see him again. But Iden's future is left open. Now, is it left open for movie canon? Is it left open for possible DLC for Battlefront 2?
I think it
or
says
Battlefront
that.
3.
I think it says Iden will return in multiplayer or some kind of lane.
It does say, yeah, you can finish her story or keep moving in her story in multiplayer mode or something like that. Yeah, I think you're right. You kind of remember that popping up. But still, they were vague, but were they really that vague with sliding that in there? Is it conceivable that Rey could be Iden and Del's kid? Oh, not to mention, well, you brought up the accent. Del's got the accent.
Del does have the accent.
Del has the accent.
People had the theory of
with Obi.
She kept her accent for a reason.
Yep, she kept her accent because tied to Obi, which I don't think that's going to play out.
Probably not.
I don't think
That's the one I was favoring.
I know. Well, Obi would have been cool. We're still waiting on an Obi movie.
Yeah, I know.
So
Let's go.
I think this one might be, so you do know her parents, but maybe not necessarily in the way you think you know
Let's
them.
say we did.
I think maybe that's how they kind of slid that
Yeah.
in there. It's interesting. It's interesting. Anyway, like we said, guys, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. You know the drill. But leave us your comments and let us know what you think. Say, whatever. You guys are awesome. That'd be great if we put that one on there. You guys are dumb. You're stupid. It's totally way off base. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I can feel it.
Star Wars.
Today, the Empire died.